I got a brand new spindle put on this axle of this truck, and I'm going to go back together with a PresetPlus wheel end, meaning the Conmet PresetPlus hubs that you see me installing here all the time. I get a lot of questions about those in the comments. A lot of guys saying throw the spacer away and set it up as a conventional wheel end, etc., etc. I want to show you what's actually going on inside that hub to maybe give you a little bit better understanding of what is going on. Now, for reference, when I say inner cone race rotation, here in just a few minutes, I'm talking about the inside of this bearing spinning on the spindle itself. So just so you kind of know what's going on. So first things first, these are just some old bearings we're going to install onto the spindle. I'm going to follow that up with a brand new hard PresetPlus conical spacer. These spacers are not crush sleeves, they are spacers. They do not crush. The PresetPlus actually is identified with this machine line in the middle, the bluing on the front and the rear, and also this PS Plus right above the part number. This is a PresetPlus. The old Preset hubs, they were not hardened edges. Conmet specifies that you need to replace the Preset spacers every time you pull one down. These PresetPlus spacers that are hardened on the edges, after a thorough visual inspection, if they do not exhibit wear, you are able to reuse these. So I'm going to install this. I'm going to install an outer bearing, and I'm going to install the washer. We'll follow that up with the nut. And you can tell while this nut is still loose that the spacer spins. If the spacer can spin, so can the inner cone races of the bearings. This is where the wear on the bottom of the spindle comes from, when the inner cone race of the bearing is spinning on the spindle instead of staying stationary like it's supposed to and allowing the rollers of the bearing to do the work and to carry the load of the vehicle. This nut on this particular setup torques to 500 foot-pounds, so let's do that now. And at this point, I hope that you can see that the nut and the two inner cone races of the bearing, coupled with the spacer in between them, that is not only setting the bearing in play for your hub, but it is also locking this whole assembly together to the back of the seal sealing area of your spindle, meaning that this no longer spins. If this doesn't spin, neither does your inner cone races of your bearings, therefore preventing the wear on the bottom of the spindle that causes you to need to replace your spindles. I've got a load more information that I'm going to go into on this setup, along with installing the new hubs. I've got a lot of footage of actually cutting this spindle off and replacing it. I will get the long form of this put up just as soon as I can. I am Blevins Diesel across all social media platforms. You should know where to find my long form content.